couple updates. So thanks for everyone coming out this morning. This shouldn't take too terribly long. Just have a couple new updates to go over. And the first thing we are going to look at will actually take us into the global settings. The second and third items we're going to look at will be in the order management. So we'll just go ahead and jump into global settings first. And what we've got here, I'm actually still in the preview site, which means this is one step away from production. And I believe this update is happening tonight, the 17th. So we can anticipate that being in by tomorrow morning. So what we've added is a whole bunch of new permissions to the user groups. So if you were to, well, let me start off by saying that VisualDLP comes with two user groups built in. And let me go ahead and mute all this so we don't get that. The two user groups that come built into VisualDLP are admin and user. Admin obviously gets access to everything, financials, entering, deleting, and so on and so forth. A user, on the other hand, doesn't have access to the dashboard when you first log in. And then there's some financial restrictions placed on them as far as entering payments, deleting payments, and things like that. But now, if you come into user groups, we give you a ability to create your own. And when you're creating your own, we've added a ton of permissions to these users for you to be able to toggle on and off. A lot of people have users that exist somewhere between an admin and what we call a user. So you can do these on or off to your specifications. So as we can see on the first one, under the dashboard, we give you 4 new options for editing, viewing, and then just financial. As far as the editing goes, you can move those boxes around on the dashboard. And when I'm talking about the dashboard, I'm talking about when you first go into order entry, that first screen that pops up, not to be confused with the lab dashboard where we track the activities. This is the order entry dashboard when you first log into VisualDLP and go into order entry. So we can choose a few different things for the dashboard. Now, something that's neat we've added under order management is the ability to take orders off hold, and then that kind of we're not quite there yet, but that's going to segue into one of our other updates that we're going to talk about on this call, a new state that we've provided other than the hold state, and then can lock dates on order is something there. Now, products is a little more cut and dry. This is just edit, delete, or create, giving them the ability. And I think it's going to be sort of similar for some of these other ones, but just so we can kind of glance over them to see what we've got now. Something that we actually added this before, can view employee pay rate, but it's good to point it out again. Sometimes if you guys are keeping track of that in your employee records in VisualDLP, you can set up a user group to where if you've got other employees that are browsing through the software, we can hide the other rates from the other employees so they can't see how much the other guy is getting paid, essentially. And then can add new and modify. Those are pretty self-explanatory. Now, accounts is more of the same, but instead of deleting, we have deactivating accounts, because once we enter an account into the system and it's got some history with the company and things like that. We don't ever actually delete all that out of there. We do hide it from you when it's deactivated, but it's never truly deleted from the system. Users, this is to be able to set up new users or modify them. That's for, let's see, that's going to be under orders. So reports, again, view, mostly view on, or all view on this. So we've talked about the different report libraries that are located throughout VisualDLP. This is just a way for you to lock off certain, I guess we would call those the sections of the library from these individual tabs, the accounts. Now, next we'll check out invoices. This is pretty cool. If you have some folks that think that a lot of the user type folks in VisualDLP, you would want to give them the ability to uninvoice the order. So that's a good good security check to have in here. So we can see we've got give them the ability to invoice, uninvoice, or credit. Now statements. This is just running the statements, giving you the ability to create the statements. Yes or no on that one. Proposal, same thing, create and delete. Now set remake, this is under things you can do where we can set the remake details. We can give them the ability to do that or not. Also slated for future development, it's actually in testing right now, is a little more functionality in the remake portion of VisualDLP, meaning that we've had a few requests for some of the functionality that we had in DL Plus in regards to the remakes. So we've got a new new way of kind of programming for that. That's going to be a little more similar to what you saw in DL Plus. I think that one's going to be ready in a couple weeks. We just like I said, we just started testing, so that usually means it'll once the testing is finished up, it'll come out in the following update. Add and delete for adjustments. That's pretty handy dandy. Change printer settings. Now, I think most of you will know that we use QZ Tray as a as a way to get around those print preview windows through a web browser. So now you can change those settings when you're in the order entry, and we can take that ability away from users. If you have it set up on a computer that multiple people are using, you might want to just lock them out of that once you've got it set up and running, so no one messes with anything. Again, with doctors, add, modify, and delete, and then orders. That's why I believe this cases one is going to be a deprecated one that won't actually show up into production, because those are listed here under orders. That's why we're not getting anything when we click on cases. So, create, modify, delete, but there's also something to pay attention to, and here is has to do with the files, that they can upload or delete files from the orders. So something to be aware of. Now, once you have created your new user group, you can simply come into users, and I don't have the ability to do it from my account in this preview, but then you can assign your users to your user group. So that's essentially how the new user group permissions work. Now, we'll go ahead and I guess something else I can touch on too here, these new banners that we're going to be putting up on the homepage, VisualDLP. You can hide it by clicking here, but also when you relog back in, it'll show back up again. So if you hide it and you accidentally, wanted to see what it said, then you could just always come back um, once you log in. But anyway, it's usually kind of what's happening here. This one's talking about the webinar that we're doing now. But whenever we have an update or a hot fix go through, then we'll update this banner just to let you guys know. And of course, if you have any questions about anything that's on these banners, you can always reach out to us, and we can go over that. So we're going to hop into order management here, and go ahead and show you what the so this is what, when we were talking about the dashboards earlier, this is what I was referring to, some of the permissions to lock them out of this, or from being able to move these boxes around, edit these things. So what I actually wanted to show was we're going to go into order entry, and we're just going to go into a one of these orders that's already been generated. And now we've had put the order on hold, but we've added a new status here called out to doctor. We had a lab request this from us as just sort of a delineation from something that was maybe put on hold that's still in the lab, as opposed to something that was sent back out to the doctor for, say, a try-in. I'll just put that as the reason. So when you select this, what you're going to see is, first off, this is going to turn to purple. So that's your indication that it's out to the doctor, is purple with this little arrow. Now I'll show you in the order entry list what that looks like as well. Yeah, we can see the whole line is purple now. It says out to doctor. We've got one down here, out to doctor as well. So they're pretty easy to identify. You can search on that status, out to doctor. So it'll only bring up the orders down at the bottom that are out to the doctor. So when this comes back, it's as simple as opening the order back up, and it has now changed to receive from doctor. So once we click receive, it puts it back into a just a regular in production status. Let's go check it here on the, yep. So we've got in production now. This one is still out to doctor. So that's just a handy little way to keep track of, like I said, something that may be on hold that's still sitting in the lab for various reasons, as opposed to something that you've sent out and you're waiting back. So like I said, this is in the preview site, so it'll be on the next update, and I believe that goes out tonight. So we'll see a banner come across the homepage when that does. Now, the last thing I wanted to go touch on is actually something we've gone over before, but we're kind of starting to press a little bit to see if you have any practices that might be interested in starting submitting digitally. We've got a few folks out there that are testing this with 1 or 2, 3 different practices. And now that we have this integration up and running with EasyRx, just wanted to remind folks that first off, it's free of charge. It's not going to cost your practice anything. As a VisualDLP customer, you can invite practices to use the EasyRx software for submitting orders for absolutely free. If there is stuff in EasyRx that the practice can pay for if they want to. It's like some design software that they can get access to, but just to submit the order through EasyRx to VisualDLP, there's no extra charge to the practice for that, or to you for that matter. And if you're wanting to take a look at this, maybe the first step would be to find someone who's interested in starting to submit digitally, maybe someone who already uses EasyRx. And if not, then they want to check it out, then we can give them a I can get an EasyRx rep to kind of give them a 45-minute long tutorial on how to get it set up and all that good stuff. And we found that a few of the folks that have gotten this set up and going so far really liking it. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that they had this option. And just so you can see it again, accounts under finance, just go to accounts, whatever account you pick that you want to invite. And then we've got the EasyRx account here. And what that does, just in case you haven't seen it, when you get an order submitted through EasyRx, it's going to show up in your queue as a status of ordered. It won't be in production yet. But what we'll do is configure certain users at the lab to get alerted whenever a new order is submitted through EasyRx. And what that means is they'll get an email to, if we want to configure it this way, we can send them an email to their actual email address that says, hey, you've got a new order in VisualDLP. And also when they log into VisualDLP, they're going to have a little notification up here by these kind of people. So when they click on that, it'll say, you've got a new order that you need to check in, order 2000 or whatever. And so that'll be your prompt, or your user's prompt to go to the order and approve it, check it in, etc. So it's pretty neat, and just want to again make it known that we can start using this when you're ready. So yeah, that was all I really had to cover today. I think we went about 20 minutes here, so that's a good amount of time. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Various modes of emails, phone calls, smoke signals, anything will get to me. And like I said, we'll have this posted up probably later this evening, or first thing tomorrow. And then you'll get a banner notification once that update goes through. I'm hoping they get it out tonight. That's what the talk was on the call that I heard this morning. So we'll see. But if not tonight, then I think it'll be at least sometime before the end of the week, and you'll be able to use those user group permissions and that new out to doctor status. So thanks again for everyone coming. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.